Welcome back to this episode of Savannah's Nooks and Crannies. Today, we're on the hunt for the best barbecue in Savannah, Georgia. We're using Yelp to go to the top 3 spots. First spot we're going to is Sandfly BBQ. Second spot we're going to is Wiley's Championship Barbecue. And the final spot is going to be Savannah Smokehouse Barbecue and Brew. We'll be joined by Chef Colby Todd from Savannah Technical Institute's culinary program. He's an instructor there, so super excited about it. Let's go check it out. So now we're here at Sandfly BBQ, our first stop on our journey to find the best barbecues in Savannah, and we're joined by Chef Todd. How you doing, Chef Todd? Thank you. Or Colby, sorry.
That's
which one do you prefer, Chef Colby?
I like Chef Colby.
Chef Colby.
Yep.
So we're with Chef Colby, and of course, everybody's favorite food enthusiast in Savannah, Tony Berna.
Hey guys, really excited about this episode here today. Really looking forward to what we have to offer. Sandfly for me holds a really near and dear place in my heart. It was the first barbecue restaurant I visited when visiting Savannah before moving here, and I'll tell you what, they are fantastic.
Was that was this place the reason why you guys moved to Savannah?
I think some would say that's the reason why.
So how are you judging your flip-flop race? How are you judging these against each
It's
other?
going to be similar to what Colby Todd said on this one. It gives us something. You need the texture, right? It needs to have the texture on there. It needs to have a really good smoke flavor as well. Obviously, are they using hickory? Are they using pecan? Are they using walnut? What woods are they using to go out and add to that smoke flavor? And then it's going to be obviously, realistically, the overall flavor and totality of all those combined with the sauce. Because you get a great meat, right? But if you have bad barbecue sauce in whatever variety and style that you have, is it going to be complete, right?
What do we got here today? What did you order here today?
We got their pulled pork platter here with 2 sides. So I know it's usually meats and 3s, sometimes it's meats and 2s.
So you had the bite.
Yep.
All right, so what sauce would you use? Explain these sauces to me.
So from what I know, you have a North Carolina style vinegar base, which is sweet and spicy, got a little bit of tang to it. You have their Savannah, which is a mustard base.
Right.
And then you have your probable favorite, knowing you as my favorite sweet guy, Pat, is their sweet Memphis style, which is more of a traditional barbecue.
Is that this one?
That's this one over
Okay,
here.
all right. Yeah. So what do you guys think of, so tell me, how do you think of their pulled pork is?
I think their pulled pork is fantastic. It's got a really good smoke ring to it. You can taste that smoky flavor. It's got really good texture, so the fat content's already broken down on it.
Right.
They probably could have broken it down with their hand, just breaking it up that way, right?
Yeah.
And I think the overall flavor was also really good to it. I know they smoke with, from what I understand, some hickory and some pecan.
Right.
So you can taste a little bit of some of the sweeter notes out of that, a little bit of creaminess. Not creamy like half and half sweet, like, a little bit to it,
Yeah,
I don't know how else to use it besides saying that noise.
So what do you think, Chef Colby?
So I enjoyed it. The pork was pretty flavorful. Like Tony said, you can definitely taste the flavor of the actual meat itself. You can taste that smoke, and then you can taste whatever seasonings that they put on the pork. So I like it.
So now we're going to next. Number 1 on Yelp is Wiley's Barbecue, so I'm super excited.
Yeah.
All right, now we are at Wiley's Championship Barbecue on your way out to Tybee Island off of 80. It's right by where the Publix is, right there. It's really cool.
Yep.
We're at Five Guys, all that stuff. And we're here because they're number 1 on Yelp. So pretty excited. What do we get here, Tony?
We got their Brisket Plate, which includes a meat and 2 sides and a piece of Texas toast. Threw a pickle in here. I don't know if that's complimentary or not, but that's cool. And we got the baked beans and the sweet potato casserole on top of the brisket.
All right, fantastic. I'm excited.
All right, Colby, so what are you seeing here with this brisket right off the top rope? Is there anything that you are noticing that's different?
So, so right off the rip, I'm noticing, it's kind of chunked up a little bit, like they kind of cut it up a little bit. I'm also, one thing that I'm looking at when I'm looking at barbecue, I'm looking at, is what the moisture content is. Is it glistening,
Yeah.
Is that moisture coming out of the brisket?
How you feel about the brisket?
I gotta say that their championship sauce that they is a championship sauce. Adds a really nice level of flavor into what's going on. On the initial look of it, to me, it looked a little bit on the drier side, but that sauce sweetens it right back up and gives it that juiciness that you're looking for.
Okay.
But thoroughly impressed. That sweet potato casserole, though, man, money. Really freaking good. It's got like a little bit of coconut to it at the end of it. Like a little bit of like,
figure out what that is.
we don't know if it's a bourbon flavor. We don't know. It's something. There's a little bit of note that leaves you as you're finishing up that goes, ooh, okay. And then the crunch of the pecan.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good texture.
As Casey taught us from Honey's, it's pecan, not pecan. So I will only say pecan from now on out. So thank you, Casey. And then the baked beans are also really solid, sweet. I would like a little bit more. I think we'd all agree a little bit more smoky flavor to it. To add to it, but I think solid all around. I really enjoyed the brisket. It's the #1 seller according to them. So yeah.
So Chef Colby, did you see any technical errors with this brisket at all?
As far as technicalities, you know, I as far as the the serving, I think it's served pretty nice. It's a good portion. However, I think it's a little bit on the drier side. I would like to have more of that natural moisture,
from the fats rendering down in the beef, right?
Exactly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it 190 is the temperature you have to get a brisket to start breaking down the fat?
Yeah, so anywhere from like 180 to 190. When I'm doing mine, I try to push mine to about 200 or so. And then a lot of chefs, some chefs they'll wrap it in that foil and they'll start it just to lock those moistures in, and then they'll finish it, in that open smoke. But like I said, it depends. Depends what you want. Depends what you're looking for. But yeah, I mean, overall, not bad.
Okay, so we are now on to our last stop, and of course, don't leave because Tony still got to get his flip-flop ready. So you don't want to miss that to see who took the top spot. Because right now, this is #1 in Yelp.
Yes.
Sandfly was
number 2.
And then the place we're going to, Savannah Smokehouse, is #3, right?
Top right on.
So we're going to Smokehouse. Now we're at Wright Square. We just went to Smokehouse Barbecue, right?
Yes, we did.
We ate in the square's a little bit busy out there, so we're gonna eat out here. No big deal. We're trying out. What do we got? What do we get today?
We got the ribs, Brunswick stew, fried okra, and we got a little bit of cornbread too. Throw in that bad boy. Now, Colby, you were telling me before, the St. Louis style rib compared to the baby back rib doesn't matter what the cut of meat is. It's where it's positioned on the animal.
So usually it's typically it's pork. It comes from the pig.
Okay.
So usually the St. Louis style ribs is more towards the belly area. It's got a little bit higher fat content.
Okay.
And then your baby back ribs are a little bit further up the ribs towards the loin, and that's a little bit more leaner meat. A little bit more curved. And they're called the baby backs because they're a little bit smaller
in size.
Yeah, and then your St. Louis style ribs are a little bit more uniform cut when they're cut.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Well, they trim off that edge piece.
Yeah.
Because it's really fat, right?
Yeah.
So they cut off that bottom part to square it off to make that.
That's right, to get
St.
that.
Louis.
Yeah, that square, that uniform piece.
Yeah. What time is it, Tony?
I think the bell's
Is that
dinging.
8 o'clock?
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8 o'clock. In Savannah. If you are in Savannah visiting, you haven't heard the bells, well, now you get to hear it. So there we go. So let's try these ribs out. Let's check them out.
Let's give them a shot.
All right, so we have the ribs in. I gotta be, Tony, what are you thinking on these ribs, man?
Those ribs were really, really good. Solid smoke ring, great meaty flavor, great meaty texture and flavor. And the bark, you still had some bark on there, which added the dry rub on there. You can really taste it. And I'll tell you what, man, that peach barbecue sauce was money, right?
That was awesome.
Now, is I know blueberry and peaches are, you can get that in barbecue sauce. Is that something that you would do in the kitchen, Colby?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, especially, you know, during times like this, you know, when peaches are in season, I'm trying to push that fresh, you know, that fresh produce or fresh fruits, you know, maybe run it as a special or incorporate it as a seasonal ingredient, you know. Absolutely.
What did you think about the ribs?
So the ribs, man, they were awesome. You know, I'm definitely agreeing with Tony on that one. You know, the smoke profile was awesome. The rub was great. You know, the ribs, they weren't too fall off the bone, you know, but you know, they melted in your mouth.
All right, guys, so we went to 3 amazing spots, right? First, we started with Sandfly BBQ. So, Tony, give me your flip-flop ratings on the pulled pork.
Their pulled pork flip-flop rating. Again, we're leaving all the other accoutrements out.
Right.
My flip-flop rating on the pulled pork, the workhorse, the hammer behind it, that is a 4.7 for me. Absolutely loved it. I have been a bunch of times. I still think that they are one of the best barbecue spots I've ever had. So that's just me.
All right, and then Chef Colby, what did you think?
Chef Colby, you know, Sandfly BBQ, they were great. I'm gonna have to give them a 4.5.
4.5 for the pulled pork. All right, great. I liked the sauces they had. They were really good. Okay, then we went to Wiley's Championship Barbecue and we tried the brisket. So Tony, give me your flip-flop ratings for the brisket.
My flip-flop rating on the brisket at Wiley's is gonna have to be a 3.8. I think if we would have caught them a little bit at a different time, maybe it would have been a little bit different. Maybe earlier in the day, I think it was a little bit dried out. I believe their championship barbecue sauce was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that. The staff and hospitality that they had were awesome, but for the actual brisket, I'm giving it a 3.8.
No one hurts. Okay, Chef Colby, tell me what you thought about the brisket.
So Wiley's Championship, you know, their brisket, it was good, but you know, it didn't hit the spot for me. I'm gonna go with a 3.3.
Woo! 3.3. It took it to the gut. That's a gut punch. All right, okay. So then we finally ended up at Savannah Smokehouse where we got to try the ribs. And Tony, tell me, what's your flip-flop ratings on these ribs?
Super solid smoke ring, great flavor, really good dry rub on that bad boy. I'm giving it a 4.6.
4.6. That's pretty solid. Okay. Chef Colby, what is your rating on these ribs?
I'm gonna have to follow up with Tony on that one. You know, the smoke, the texture, the flavor, the moisture, and that sauce, 4.8.
4.8. So it sounds like, Tony, who's your winner today?
So my winner, and still #1 king in my heart, is gonna be Sandfly BBQ. If we're ranking between that whole entire thing, that's Sandfly 1, Savannah Smokehouse 2, Wileys 3.
And then Chef Colby, what's your winner?
I'm definitely gonna have to go with Savannah Smokehouse. The ribs and the sauce, man.
Yeah, the peach barbecue sauce was really good.
That peach barbecue sauce, really good. I would have to agree with Chef Colby on that one. I really loved the peach barbecue sauce. It was just surprising.
Yeah.
Like it really was surprising. So yeah. So that's it for this episode of Savannah's Nooks and Crannies. Join us on the next episode where I'm joined by Leslie Wiggins from Flavors Food Tours. We're gonna be taking a food tour downtown at Vic's on the river. Then gonna check out Plant Riverside and River Street. You're gonna learn a lot of history with her, so it's gonna be super fun. You don't wanna miss it. So stay curious and stay hungry.